How's everyone doing?
Doing good.
Doing good. All right. All right, so this is just a little Google Drive 101, especially good for our new teachers, showing you guys what is available in your Google account, doing a little overview, and then also showing you how you can assign a Google Cloud assignment. Oh, thanks, Sheila. All right, so just to, when you came in, I was just sharing a Google slide and I put a little YouTube video in the corner. So that's how I do my music. You can also do that with just like a Spotify playlist. So anything that's playing on your computer can play through the Zoom meeting. So if you've been wondering about adding music, like as your kids come in, this is how you do it. All right, so I guess before I get started, what are your burning questions that you came and you really wanted to know today? Go ahead and jump on the mic and share.
I have never used Google before as any of this Google stuff.
Okay.
Never been part of a Google school, so I don't know what any of it can do.
Okay. All right.
How to embed a Google slide in Canvas. Like a Google application.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, just seeing what the LTI looks like for the kids and
perfect. All right, so I will talk about those things for sure. All right, so we're not doing podcasts. So let's see. There we go. I'm going to just go right to my Google Drive, and so you can get to your school Google Drive by going to drive.google.com. Let me see. We do have a couple of people here today that aren't at my school. So this is just a reminder, if I do have any visitors today, that this can only should be done if you are at a Google school. So do not do any of this with a personal Gmail account. Just wanted to put that out there, that this should not be done. You should never do anything with a personal Gmail account. Even if you just created like Miss Jones, at Gmail, and that's just gonna be for your school stuff, you shouldn't do it. It's FERPA and COPA compliant. Nightmare. So only do this stuff if you're at a Google school. All right. So Woodbridge people, you are a Google school, you have your school Google account. The Waffle in Google is on the other side. So up in Office 365, it was in the top left corner. Our Waffle is in the top right corner. You will still see the classroom icon, but students do not have that. Okay, so Google Classroom is turned off for students. We will not be using that this year with students. You will also see the Gmail. The Gmail is still turned on for teachers, but we have turned it off for students. Now, when I say we have turned it off, what I mean is I've now made it so students can no longer send an email from it. And any email they receive to it gets forwarded to their Office 365 email. The reason I did it that way instead of just turning it off is we now have seniors that have 3 years of Gmail emails. And if they've done anything starting with college's stuff last year, I didn't want them to lose access to that. So they can still actually get in their email box. They'll still have the email icon. They can still go there and read all their old emails, but they can do nothing else. They can't send email, and all of their current email that they would receive is now being forwarded to Office 365. So hopefully that answers any questions about what do the students have? They're gonna have everything else you see in the Waffle. They're gonna be able to do all that, but those two things are turned off. Any questions about that? So if you share a doc,
sorry,
okay, yeah, go ahead.
I know the kids don't have access to Classroom anymore. Are we going to lose it? Because I have a couple things still in there that I'm pulling from there into Canvas. Okay.
No, I'm not going to turn it off. Just in case you have the old stuff you want to transfer over. Yep, that's why I left it on for you guys.
Hey, Katie, it's April. What about when the kids are doing like a form or a quiz where it collects their email address and then
they still have an account. Don't think of it as an email address. Think of it as an account.
So when you give them feedback, it goes to their Woodbridge SHS account, but then it automatically forwards. So we tell the kids to check their Outlook account for the feedback.
Exactly. If you share a
Perfect.
document, they'll get that notification at their Office 365 email, etc. So I'll just forward it on. There is, to be precise, there are about 25 kids who that's not going to work for. And that's because whoever created their account, the name, the front username doesn't match their PWCS ED username. So if you come across one of those kids, just let me know and I can offer to them to change it to match. But I didn't want to change it on them without them really knowing what was going on. And yeah, so that makes sense. Any other account type questions? All right, so what you see in the Waffle here, maybe I can zoom in bigger. There we go. All right, so what you see in the Waffle are the things that you and your students will have access to. So they can make Google documents, they can make Google slide presentations, they can make Google spreadsheets. We have turned off Meet, so I'm sorry, they actually won't see that, and turned off chat because we are using Zoom this year. So if you're a returning teacher and you got used to using Meet last spring, we're all in Zoom now. They're Google Drive and Google Sites, so they can make a website with Google. So if you're wanting them to do some portfolio work, that can be a really great tool to have them build portfolios. You'll see they also have Google Maps and Google Earth, and I'm going to talk about Google Earth today. Another one they have, and in your Waffle, if you don't like the arrangement, you can just drag the items around. They'll have Jamboard, and Jamboard is a whiteboard. So if you're looking for a whiteboard option, that is the one built into Google. If I open it, just like any Google document, it saves to their Google Drive, or it will save to your Google Drive. And just like any other Google document, it is collaborative. So I click on the little plus sign in the bottom corner. Google Hangouts is off, yeah. It's turned off. And for students, you may, actually I think I left it on for teachers, so you can definitely use that with your colleagues. So I can give this jam a title. And you'll see that I can share it with students. And so I could just get the link to share it. So I would want to click change link. I'd want to make sure it's Woodbridge High School can edit. And so if I'm giving this to my students so everyone can collaborate, I would want them to edit. If I'm just giving it to them to look at, like if I'm just using this as my whiteboard, I would just give it to them to view. And I would copy the link and I could put that in my Canvas class, and then they can come over here and open it up. It does not embed in Canvas. But this would just be a whiteboard. You can see there's a pen. If you have one of these XP pen, tablets, you can buy this on Amazon. Then you could, come over here and draw with that. I'm still not really an expert at using this thing. I keep wanting to click on this button, which is not necessary. I just have to practice. So if you're looking for your writing options on like a whiteboard, this could be really good for that. So you can have pens in different colors. You can have eraser. You can add little Post-it notes to it. Pictures can be added, so you can upload an image. So this could be another way to, if you had like an image of a part of a worksheet, you could upload that image and then they could write on top of it. Circles, they can add shapes. And then they can, let's see, yeah, laser. Oh, it's just a pointer. That's new. That's kind of cool. So it can highlight something. Yeah, this is called Jamboard. So you'll see it's at jamboard.google.com, and it's in the Google Waffle. So this is one whiteboard option. There is also a Microsoft whiteboard in your Waffle in Office 365. So if you want to use that, that's another option.
Does that option embed in Canvas?
No, you would also have to link it.
Okay.
Yeah. This is called an XP pen. This is just like a writing tablet. Instead of using my mouse to write, I can just write with that. Yeah. XP Pen, it was $40 on Amazon. There are more intricate technical, this would be called like a tablet. Bamboo is a very popular company that like makes higher end tablets. And so this is one of those. It's just a low end one. Someone says, does it only work with touch screens? No, I don't have a touch screen at all. I'm just using the tablet to write on it. So it can work, it does work really nice on an iPad. The iPad Jamboard app is awesome, but this I can just write on, like right now, I'm just writing on it with my mouse. So it also has backgrounds, and one of the backgrounds is a grid. So if you're a math, that can be helpful for graphing. You can see different grids and dots. So this would just be, like I said, a collaborative whiteboard you and your students could use. Any more questions about Jamboard? So you could pull this up during a Zoom and work on that if you liked. The advantage of this over the Zoom whiteboard is this would be available to students to continue to work in after the Zoom. The Zoom whiteboard is only available during the Zoom.
Katie, did you say there's an iPad app for Jamboard?
Yes, there is.
Cool.
Any other questions about Jamboard? The Zoom whiteboard is actually, I would have to, let me stop sharing my screen. You actually, to do the Zoom whiteboard, when you go to your sharing settings, you pick advanced. When you want to share a screen, where is it? Oh, it's not under basic. But then, all I'm sharing is a whiteboard. This is the Zoom whiteboard right here. So, and I can also use that XP Pen with that as well. So that's the Zoom whiteboard. But again, students can't contribute to that after. So if you want to have like a living document that you could go back to every time, the Zoom whiteboard is just for that meeting. This would be, this or Microsoft Whiteboard would be a perpetual whiteboard that you'd have access to. All right. So that was Jamboard. I'm going to go back just to my regular Google Drive. If you or a student wants to start a new item, a new document, you'll click this new button. And then you're going to click the type of document you'd like to start or more. And more is where you're going to find Google Forms, Google Drawings, Google Maps, and Google Jamboard files. All of those will be there. So this is how you just start a new document. So your Google Docs is equivalent to Word. Your Google Sheets is equivalent to Excel. Your Google Slides are equivalent to PowerPoint, and your Google Forms are equivalent to Microsoft Forms. There is no Microsoft equivalent for drawings or maps or sites or Jamboard. It would be the Microsoft Whiteboard. So if you're trying to pick tools, those are some. Any questions about that, the types of tools you can use?
Is the Smart Learning Suite basically just a way to get to Smart through Google?
Yeah, that's all it is. All right, so some things I want to highlight as, projects you can have your students do that I think is really great. One of them is Google Sites. They're very easy to build websites. So this, again, is great for portfolioing. I've done it with, some like cosmetology. Students can add photos and videos of their cosmetology work to it. And this is an actual website that they can share out into the whole world. So if you're having students or wanting students to create portfolios, Google Sites is a great option for that. It's loading.
Can I ask a question about Google Sites, Katie?
Sure.
I've seen teachers, just through my experience, who have Google Sites and then like through their Canvas assignments, just link the kids to this already done Google Sites. Is that just double work, or is it a better way to make put all your assignments for Canvas? I guess, I don't know. Or is it just double work?
What are they putting on this site?
Usually it's like for history, it would be like content, maps, videos, all that stuff.
Right.
But
So if they're just wanting, what they're doing is they're putting all of their content here. That way they don't have to copy it to all their classes. But
okay.
the assignments would all live in Canvas.
Okay. I
So
see.
if you wanted to make this like your teacher website and put all of your content here, you could certainly do that. And students, like you could add this as a redirect link and onto the course navigation, and they just know to go there, and you would say, oh, go to this page for the notes. And then, you know, if you had 5 classes of the same thing, instead of cross-listing them all, you would have them come here.
Okay, thank you.
Is this what Kyle Jeck used last year?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, so Kyle would be a great person to talk to him about if you wanted to make a class website.
And he did a presentation last year, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Google Sites, so super easy to build, and you can publish it in 2 ways. Let me just type a little something. When I go to publish it, I can publish it so that anyone in the world can see it and it's public, or I can publish it in a way so you have to log in with the school Google to see it. So if you want to make that class website, but you don't want it out into the whole world, you would just make these sharing just to our school's domain. So you can see this site would just be published to the school's domain. So someone would have to log in with their office, or not their office, their Woodbridge address to view it. If I wanted it to be the world, I would just change this to public. So that would be useful, especially if you're sharing information with parents. Any questions about Google Sites?
So you said that it could be shared out to the world and made public. How does this like follow students when they leave Woodbridge, or does this particular site stay with the Woodbridge domain?
Great question. So when a student leaves, they can use Google Takeout to take all of their Google Docs with them, and this can go with them to their personal Gmail.
Thank you very much. And then if it's public, we would probably encourage students to stay private while they're working on stuff at school, correct? And not encourage them to be public just simply for safety and privacy issues?
Yeah. But, you know, if they're making, you know, a website and they're trying to get a job, then it can turn into a public portfolio. Any other questions about Google Sites? If this is something you want me to work with you on, please, like we can have a meeting, I can come co-teach your class and show students how to use it. That's what I'm here for.
One more, Katie, about if I wanted to make all my content there so that then like all my US classes could just go there. Does it take up any more, like thinking of kids' accessibility, does it take up any more like bandwidth for them to go to that site versus like looking at a PowerPoint on Canvas, let's say?
No, the Google Sites is very web friendly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. So that's Google Sites. The second thing that I want to show you that I really love for projects, and then we'll get to the Canvas piece, is Google Earth. So I did a few of these projects last year in foreign language, and you can kind of think of it as a mashup of a slide presentation and a VR presentation or interactive presentation. So Google Earth used to be a really heavy program that you had to download, but now it's web-based, it's amazing. And there are actually 2 things that are of value here. One are pre-made voyages that you can assign your students to just go look at. So there's nothing for them to make. So this might be really good for you know, the autism ID kids. This just gives them something different to see. Or any kid, there's a lot of great content here. And then the second part is they can make a project. So let me let it load. It does take a minute to load.
Does this work like Tour Builder?
Similar, yeah, exactly, yeah. But a little bit better, I think. right, so it's rendering, here I am. So the first option you have is Voyager, and these are the pre-made activities or tours that are created by Google. You'll see they have some with Carmen Sandiego. So if I click on this, we're in Earth, it's actually kind of a game that they can play. So in the Voyager area, really great content for them to take part in and be active in. So when I open this, I can say begin the chase. And the way that I would share this with my students, oh, this one's a game, so I think they have to go right there. I'll show you in another one. Oh, here we go. I could click here. Is this it? No? Okay, let me click. All right, I'm gonna show you the one I like a lot. I think this one is really cool. This one is called This Is Home, and it's a world tour of people in different homes. And since we are working from home, it's kind of appropriate. So it could be a great introductive activity of like, what is home? And what does home mean to us? And what does home mean to other people? And what do other people's homes look like? So people can go, the students can go and tour different homes. So if I wanted to share this with my students, I click these 3 dots up here in the top middle. And I just share this story, and it will be the whole project. If I just wanted to share this particular page about Madagascar, I would click share this page. But if I wanted to share this whole project, I would say share this story. And I would just copy this URL and put that in my Canvas classroom. So it's very easy for you as a teacher to direct them right to the specific project that you want them to view. So that's Voyager, that's just the viewing things. Any questions about that?
Will that show as an embedded link or like external?
External, yeah. So all types of topics. There's like sports stadiums of the world. We got national parks, all different kinds of stuff to see there. Then the second part is the actual projects, the projects they can create. And so they could create this project, and then they could either do a screen recording and lead you through the project or present it live during your Zoom time. So in my projects, they're right there. I would just create a new project. I'm going to show you an existing project that I've already started, but these, just like any other Google Docs, save to their Google Drive, and also like any other Google product, are collaborative, so they can do this in a group. So I'm going to show you Amusement Parks USA. So it's a combination of slides and world locations. You can see I can click the little plus sign up here, and I can share this project and add collaborators to it. So they would just put in their classmate's name. They can also get a link here and share it with you as the teacher, so they could submit this link to turn it into Canvas, or put the link like in a discussion board and other people could view it. So they would just put their classmate's name here, and this is where they can get a link. All right, so I'm just gonna present it and show you what it looks like, and then I'll talk about how it's made, which is very easy. So I actually made this image in Canva. So I did a little app smashing where I made my presentation first. So kids could think of it like, okay, I'm gonna make my PowerPoint first, and I'm gonna save all these things as pictures, JPEGs, and then I'm gonna add it to Google Earth. So amusement parks, like how amusement parks got started, where it's like the very first amusement park. So I just have some slides, I'd be giving my presentation, and then we start flying around the world to the different amusement parks. And I think amusement parks are really cool in this because the aerial view of what an amusement park is pretty fun. So students can zoom in, get really close to the earth. And if they want to start walking around Coney Island, they just click the little street view guy in the corner, and all the roads that they can land on become blue. So I can click on any of these blue streets, and here we go. And I can start walking around Coney Island or anywhere in the world. So I can walk around for a while. And then when I get tired of Coney Island, I can click the street guy again, and I'll go back up into space. All right, and then I can go to my next spot in my presentation. So then we're going more to Coney Island. Then we're going to Kennywood. flying, going into space. So it gives students, like, if you're doing a location-based project or a location-related project, they can fly around. So that just gives you an idea of what one of these would be. And again, I can drop down in Kennywood. I can zoom in. Oh, I can really go a lot of places there. Zoom in and see what it looks like over the overview and land if I want, and then go to my next space.
So Katie, can I do that only because it's your project, or I can do it even if I just plainly went into Google Earth? I can walk and...
You can walk, yep. You don't have to make a project to walk around in Google Earth. So you could just type in Paris and go to Paris and walk around.
Awesome, I'm going to Paris.
I know, we all can't travel now. So that's why I did amusement parks. I was trying to make something fun. All right, so it's really easy for students to make these projects. If they want to add a slide, they just choose full screen slide. And this will open. What I did, I said I made those images in Canva. So I just uploaded them as background images from my computer. So I found the file on my computer. I saved these somewhere. Okay, here we go. Here's one. So I just upload the image, but you don't have to upload an image. You can also just type content here, type content in this box, and that would be the text on the page. And then for the image, you can search Google. So I could click here and just do a Google search and say Six Flags and just pull a picture up. And then that adds a full slide to my thing. You can also see, you can link, so students could link to the resources here as like a in project works cited. Another hack that I found, someone asked me if I could add audio to these. You could create an audio file that you save in your Google Drive and they could link that audio file. So that's the only way to add audio. So that's adding a slide. And then if you want to add a feature, you just click the little magnifying glass. And let's say we're going to add, what was that place? Six Flags. Oh, I have three choices. Let's say Six Flags over Georgia. Sure. So it's going to zoom to Six Flags over to Georgia. And then to add it to my project, I just click on this card and say add to project. And then I say, I'm going to pick this project that I want it to be in. You can choose any of your projects. I'm going to just stick with the one I'm doing and say save. And then it will get added to the project. And yeah, the audio file would pop open in a new window as an audio file. It won't open in the same window. And then you can just rearrange these places by dragging them up and down. So I just wanted to introduce you to this because I think it's a really great project. This could be, you know, something your students can do in that asynchronous time. Any questions about Google Earth? All right, so the last two things are Canvas related. So the first thing that was asked, or one of the things that was asked, was how to embed a Google slide. So you create your Google Slides here. I think this is the best way to embed them. Then you're going to go to File, Publish to Web. And you'll select Embed, and it will give you that embed code. Then you're going to go back to Canvas, and you're going to put it in the page. You can decide if it auto advances or not, and what size they're going to be. So you want to choose the size before you copy the code. So I'm going to choose large. And then I go to Canvas. I'll go to my practice classroom. I'm going to make a page. Google Slides Embed. So I'm going to go to this page. You could also embed it at the top of an announcement. I'm just going to show you this. This is an example. So to embed, you have to go to the back side of the rich content editor. This box here is the rich content editor, okay? If you type it, you're gonna see words. If I just paste the code here, you're just gonna see the code when you save the page. You're not gonna see the embedded content. You have to go to the back side of this box. To get to the back side, you're gonna click this >/ sign in the bottom right corner. I know I'm on the side where I should paste it because you see that toolbar went away. If I click it again, I go back, the toolbar, I'm on the front side, no toolbar, I'm on the back side. I paste it, I go back to the front, and now my Google Slides are there. And I will say save. And that's that. Questions about embedding a Google slide deck? You can see it's actually a little too big. I'm not very pleased with that. So now I'm going to go back. I'm going to change it to a medium. I'm going to recopy the code. I'm going to go back. And I'm going to go delete this old code because it was a little too big. It was over the edge. And now here, good. Now it's all fits on one page. And then I'll save.
Katie, I have a question just on preference. Do you find that the Google Slides or PowerPoint embed better or are easier for students? Because I know we can move back and forth between the two programs. Is there a better one to use for students?
Yeah, the embedding of PowerPoint slides does not work, is not visible on mobile. So if you want your students using mobile devices to see it, you need to use Google Slides.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Once you embed it, you're creating it for the students to see. Let's say you wanted to have them do something within that, so it would be more of like an assignment versus just them viewing the page. When you embed that as an assignment, do each of the students get their own copy so it's unchanged except for theirs, and then they send it back to you?
Okay, so this is an embed and it just puts on the page. If you want to give each kid a copy, you're going to make an LTI assignment. They'll each get their own copy, and any changes will only be viewed by them until they turn it into you.
Okay, that's right. I remember that from last night. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So any changes that I make over here to my presentation here will get reflected in this embed. So I don't have to keep embedding it. If I embed it once, if I make any changes over in Google, they'll be updated in Canvas. Okay. All right. So now let's talk about the assignment option. So when I make a Google Cloud assignment, I'm going to give each kid their own copy of a Google Doc or a Google Slide or a Google Sheet, and they'll be able to edit it and turn it in. And that process is very simple. I'll just make an assignment. Google assignment. Put any directions here, videos, supporting documents that you want them to have for this assignment. You know, in my Teacher Week videos, I've had like a little video for everything you're supposed to do. I think that's a really good practice. You know, for a lot of kids, reading the directions is not going to be enough. Just make a little screen recording of you telling them exactly what you want them to do. It's going to be helpful. Hopefully you found those helpful for you. If not, entertaining. All right, so submission type. You're going to choose external tool. And then you are going to select find. You are going to look for Google Docs Cloud assignment. My Google Drive that I've already connected, you know, you did that connection hopefully yesterday as your required task, is going to come up. Again, just like in Office 365, if I have a team drive in Google, I'm not going to find the document. It has to be in my personal Google Drive. So I'm going to search for the document that I want them to have. Sure. Let's just choose this. Submit. They're each going to get their own copy. They're all going to do their own work. And then they'll submit it and I'll be able to grade it in SpeedGrader. I'll say select. And then I'll just say save and publish the assignment, and they'll get that assignment.
So Katie, when they're done with that, there'll be like a submit button for them to turn it in? Okay.
Yep. And on Monday, the VIP group, you guys know the VIP stuff that's all going on for our school. One of their assignments, they have a required module that you guys are going to have to do next week. It's going to be in the staff workroom, and the assignment is a Google Doc. So you will get to experience what the students would experience for a Google Doc.
Katie, is what you just showed us the same thing? You're doing a training on Wednesday about embedding like a document into your slide, like a assignment in your slides, into your Google Slides?
Oh, that is like not me. That is April Rogozinski.
Oh, okay. But is that what you're talking about here, or is that?
Yeah, this like different? You would. She's going to show you how to make the Google Slides that students could then write on and do a worksheet on. Okay. And you would assign it this way though. So you'd make that Google slideshow, and then you'd give them each their own copy.
Okay, Katie, thank you.
Can we use this to like give out notes that we don't want to come back to us also, where the kid saves it, or was that something different?
If you want each kid to get a copy, yeah, you could do that and then just put it in your like informative note-taking assignment group.
Okay.
And keep the points at 0, and then each kid could have their own copy. Yeah, you could totally do it that way.
Is there a way to do a Google slide where everybody's just adding one slide?
So that is supposed to happen under collaborations. So on your course navigation, collaborations, the teacher has to initiate it. So collaboration, you would choose Google Apps, or you could do Office 365. So you get to pick your people or your groups. So if you're doing student groups, you can give each group, you would assign it separately, and they each get their own slide deck. You can see you can do the document, the spreadsheet, or the presentation. So I'm going to choose a document, and I choose people. Oh, do I not have, I don't have people in this class. Duh, that's why. I would choose my people or choose my groups and then assign it to them. And that would start a collaboration. Did that help?
Yeah, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you will get the copy of the Google Doc in your drive. If, as the student, you would get a copy. Oh, as the teacher? Yes, I believe you will get a copy in your Google Drive. We'll just have to see. I'll know Monday when people start doing that VIP thing, because I will start getting them in my Google Drive. I'll be able to confirm. Other Google questions? All right. Well, I'll put the attendance in the chat. So if you would fill that out, especially if you're here from another school, that would be great, because you will get your people from other schools, you'll get your certificate. There you go. But I'll be here lingering for questions. Otherwise, thanks for coming, and have a good weekend, and take a weekend. Put that work computer away. Literally, after this meeting, I am closing. We're house sitting right now, and we'll be here all Sunday. I'm going to close everything up, put everything away. No more of this. Take a break.
I do have a question, Katie.
Mm-hmm.
I saw somewhere on the CLT forum something about sharing where you were born on a map.
Mm.
And I couldn't figure that out. And I was wondering if you could maybe walk through that.
Was that a CLT thing that I did?
No, it was just something it was an idea that whoever put it together said we could do with our coworkers during the CLT, but I was thinking about doing it with my students.
Then you could do that in Google Earth.
Okay.
So you make that Google Earth project, you could share it with everyone in your class, and they could all put, their space on, their place on a map, and a picture of themselves on that space. So if I do that, so. It's going to take a second to load up. How is assigning a Google Cloud assignment different than annotating a PDF? Well, a Google Cloud assignment, they'll actually do their work in Google Docs or Google Slides or Google Sheets. Annotating a PDF, they're just going to that speed grader function and drawing on it. When we did the diversity training, they said they can't even ask where kids are from. Would an assignment like that be an issue? Oh, that's interesting. What diversity training was that? That's interesting. Oh, where they'd like to go, yeah.
The CARE modules last year, one of the things they talked about was you shouldn't ask students, where are you from?
Oh, so if they're an illegal immigrant, then it could be a sensitive situation.
Right.
Of course, yeah. You could say where you're
Laura,
born, that doesn't, or where you want to go.
You could, or where have you traveled?
Or where's your dream vacation? And then they can put their picture on it. So they come here. You can search for Little Rock, Arkansas. Okay.
But I think that where you were born would be okay, only because there are a lot of us that were born outside of the U.S., military and all that kind of stuff. So if you preface it that way, I don't think kids will have an issue.
I think it would be okay. So I'm going to add this to my project. I'm going to, let's see, make a new project. I'm going to give it a title, WSHS birthplaces, and I'm going to share this with you guys to add to. Save that. So then it comes to me, right? I'm going to actually edit it. I'm going to say, I'm going to replace the information. I'm going to put Kitty Fielding. I'm going to add my photo. All right. Perfect. It saves. And then when you go to Little Rock, Arkansas on the map, I will pop up and my name. So I will give you guys the editing rights to this, and you can add yourselves. You don't have to do it now. I'll put it in the class assignment in the classroom too. So I just put it to Woodbridge High School editor, copy the link, and there you go. Done.
So if we were doing this, something like this with our kids, we would just copy that link and put it in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you just have to make sure that just set it so that they have to be using their Woodbridge account. That way, they can't send it to their friend in Timbuktu and have them contribute. But yeah. Yeah, no problem, John. Have a good day.
Katie, another question about the collaborations.
Mm-hmm.
So if you make a collaboration, is that when you go to add it to a module, do you add the collaboration, or is that part of an assignment? Or
you would just make a collaboration, and then you would have an assignment where it's like turn it in here.
Okay, all right, yeah, that makes more sense. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. And you could assign those like assignments to a group, so you just get one submission. Perfect. So when you make an assignment, you don't have to. So you make the collaboration, it starts it out for them. But then when you make the assignment where they're going to like turn it in, when you assign it, you could say a group assignment. And then you'll just get like one submission from each group. Group assignment. And then you set, like you have your groups that you already have set up in that groups area.
Yeah, that makes sense. We do a lot of that, so this is helpful.
Yeah. And then you see, you can check that box that says assign grades to each student individually, or you can make a group grade. So everyone gets the same grade or different grades.
Katie, I see you had that turned in as a PDF. Is that always the format for that?
Oh, no. This is just left over from another assignment that I'd made.
Okay, so typically,
if it was a Google thing, I would say submit online, submit URL. Maybe if I want to go to Google and look at it.
Okay.
And then they put the URL for that sharing code in.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, or you can do a file upload, and then they can just pick the file that they want from their drive. Because when they go to, let me show you. In another assignment, I can show you this view. Student view. So you'll see, oh, that's not it. So like I had made this assignment and it was a file upload. You see when I go to submit the assignment, oh, I've already submitted. How can I unsubmit? Submission details. Resubmit assignment. Oh, here we go. You'll see that they have the upload. They can attach a studio video. They can do something from their Google Drive. They can upload something for their Office 365. This tool is not available while masquerading. Yeah, I'm not a real student. They would see their drive here. I'm masquerading as a student right now, so that's why I can't view it. But yeah, they would have those options to just turn it in. Oh yeah, let's see, it's someone adding. Any other questions? Did everyone get the attendance?
I have a question, Katie. Can you use, or how would you use a Google Forms with Canvas?
You would either put the link to the form, and you can embed the form on the page. So for instance, I have that assignment I had that was like the sandbox assignment where you could request a sandbox. I just embedded the Google form onto a page. So I go to the send button on the form, and I choose the embed code. And I put this on that HTML side of the rich content editor box. Now, you will have to, if it is like a quiz and you had the quiz, you'll have to transfer those grades by hand or copy and paste from a spreadsheet. But as we know, the hub is not syncing with Canvas, so we're gonna have to do that anyway. So why not? If you're like diehards already into like using Google Forms as quizzes, don't waste all of your time making Canvas quizzes. Just keep using the Google Form as a transfer the grades, I think is your best workflow. If the Canvas actually connected to the hub, I would say differently. But since you already have to transfer things, like just transfer them. Oh, look at all these places. All right, cool. It does not. That's what I'm telling you now. Oh, I hope it does sometime too. They said maybe next year. So Catherine, you have 24 grade books. So you have multiple, like your classes are broken probably into A, B days and sped and regular, right?
Yes, I have a ton, yes.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do is like those, like anything first period, we're gonna cross list that. And then it will just become one.
Good.
And then anything, second period, connect and become one.
So including the sped?
Yep.
Okay.
You can if you want.
Deep breath for that.
If you want to keep it separate, you can. Totally up to you.
But that's in Canvas, not in the hub.
That's in Canvas, correct.
Yeah, so the 24 will remain in the hub.
Oh God, I guess so. That sounds
Yeah,
fun.
he said it's also because of people selecting to do virtual. So you'll have a virtual group of students too. So I have 3 groups for every one of my classes.
And then with sped, I have another 3.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to really be, the cross-listing thing is going to be up to you and how you want to manage it.
Now, Katie, I have a question about the Google. So I put mine in, but when I put mine in, I guess as the student side, I could only see yours and mine until I refreshed it. As a teacher, does it refresh automatically? Like, can you see?
No,
real
you have to
time?
refresh the page. You just have to
Okay.
refresh the page. I mean, it's in real time, but it's static. It's not like a Google Doc where you see everyone typing. You do have to just refresh the page.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever used that. That was pretty cool.
Oh, good. Yeah. And there's definitely math applications to this. So under that new features, I didn't show it, but you could add a line or a shape. So you can have them outline a city and find the, the diameter or perimeter and area.
Yeah, that works probably best with geometry.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I know Catherine's very excited.
Hey,
Yes.
Katie, is there a way to search our location?
Yeah, so you click the little magnifying glass in the top left corner.
Okay, hold on. Magnifying glass, top left corner. I don't see that.
It's above the little ship wheel.
It's under the 3 lines.
Yep, under the 3 lines in the top left corner. And when you hover over it, it says search. Search.
Okay.
You can share your screen if you want.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Okay. This is the first time I've ever been in this, so this is kind of weird for me.
It took me a while to find search too, I'll admit it.
I found it under new feature. I didn't even see that magnifying glass staring at me.
Me neither. How are you guys
clicked on
getting
the
your
map.
pictures?
So after you pick the place,
Uh-huh.
you're going to edit it. And where the picture is that they currently have of the city, you'll delete that one and you'll upload your own picture.
Okay. I should have figured that out.
Let's see.
Saved a project. So we put our name where it says place title.
No, you can put it under where the Wikipedia entry is. Clear out the Wikipedia entry and then put your name in.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're about wrapping up. If you didn't get the attendance, but your homework for today is to stop what you are doing and to go outside, take a walk, or I will be sitting by the pool at this place we're house sitting at.
Yeah, when do you leave there?
Sunday.
You're going to be so sad you don't have a pool
I'll be back
anymore.
in my little hovel. Oh no, my little apartment. Yeah, it will be fine. It's been good to get out, but I like my house, so it'll be good. But yeah, this weekend, step away, self-care.
Well, thank you so much, Katie. This has all been really helpful.
Good. So next week, I'm about to send out the the list of everything for next week. So instead of daily emails, you're getting one email for the week, and you'll see all the optional trainings that I'll be giving next week on that list.
Okay.
Don't think you have to do them all.
I probably do need to do them all.
No, because not every tool is going to be great for PE. Not every tool is going to be great for Spanish. Not every tool is going to be great for math. Choose the tools that are going to be good for your content. That's why we have so many, is because we want there to be something for everyone. So it's not, we don't have so many because we want you to use them all. We have so many so that there are options that are best for different contents.
Hey, you guys, can you see mine?
Refresh.
I'm so stuck on this. Is there a save button or something?
No, there's no saving. As you make it, it saves.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, hopefully it's there. And I really hope you have a great weekend.
Yeah, thanks. You too, Beth.
All right. Thank you.
I have a question about that.
About my weekend? I am about to have a wine cooler and
so I see